XO of the 512th, as you can see up here. Boom, 512 Fighter Squadron. And we are going to help one of our newer pilots get set up with a TFlight HOTAS 4 from Thrustmaster. And I've had this stick for over 2 years. I have it set up. I think it's a pretty unique setup. I didn't copy this off anybody else, but we're just going to go dive into it. And if you want to follow along, you can have my setup too. And if you have any questions about what this is meant for, this is meant for sim. So just a quick peek here. Yeah, that's not slouch numbers, and it's mainly geared for top tier. But you can draw your own conclusions. But let's get into the action. Are you there, Lucky? Alright, Lucky's checking in. We're going to go to controls. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to go up to the far right. We're going to set up full real controls. Okay. Now, with this, I use the HOTAS, and I also have a keyboard. So, as we're going down, to put control modes to none. Virtual instructor is off. Auto trim is also off. We're going to set that up. One thing, if you fly realistic as well, you want to have a button. I have it as right alt for the control mode. That lets you cycle through. Yeah, because again, so it's not every time I'm playing War Thunder I'm in sim. Actually, I play mostly realistic, and that way I can just cycle through. It makes the controls a lot smoother. The next one down, and this is one I need you to put in here, Lucky. It is toggle SAS mode. Spacebar. It's on the keyboard. And this is going to be just a completely new setup. So, let me know when you got that. No, just start. You could replace everything because you got something completely new. When we're done, we're going to save this under a different save. Okay. So next one down, mouse wheel movement. I don't use a mouse. I have a presentation mouse. So I have a head tracker. It makes it really easy to use. And actually, I'll turn that on. You can actually see this is just me moving my head up and down. Makes it a lot easier, especially in sim, to be able to follow somebody up and to the right, back to the left. It's a little nuanced, but it doesn't take long to pick it up. It's like inverted track IR. For those in the know. So the next one down, because we don't care about mouse wheel multiplier, we're going to go to throttle axis. We want to set that up as axis, it should say J2 axis 4. So you just click it, you go up to the right and make where it says choose joystick axis, you want J2 axis 4. It's the same way we were setting up the other. Okay, yeah, it should say R1 or something. But yeah, just go ahead and X on that upper right corner. Yes, you found it. Now you want that to be axis J2, axis 4. I believe. Let me double check. I might be in the wrong controls. Yeah, J2 axis 4. Now to check that, you should be able to. That should be your little rocker panel on the left side of the throttle. So that's going to be your rudder. The next one down is your roll axis. It's the controls on your pinky on the throttle. Yes. Yes, there is. Okay. Uh, that means it's working. No, so yeah, so it's the throttle. So it goes forward and back. Pretty simple. Now roll axis, that needs to be J2. Okay, axis 1. Now before you leave this screen, after you have that set, move the stick left and right. So you should see that little bar moving left and right, just to confirm. Okay, what I do is I turn my multiplier down to 0.87. You can edit this to your own discretion. I try to have a balanced, if not toned down, stick. So I have the multiplier at 0.87. And then my stick is a little older, so I've had to increase the dead zone over time. On the multiplier, mine's at the lower side and it says 0.87. 0.87. 0.87. Try to manually click it instead of sliding it. Yep. Alright. Now, next we'll go to pitch axis. That's going to be the same thing. Choose axis is going to be axis J2, axis 2. And then I have that at 0.83. You may be able to put that up a little bit higher. It just because I've got an older stick. It's gone through many flights. You may want to try it at 0.87. And if you start ripping wings off of planes, bring that down. Okay. Now the next is going to be yaw axis. I have that as J2 axis 5. This is your rudder. This is how you kick it side to side. Yep. And I have that set non-linearity of 2 and then multiplier of 1. Now, yep. Okay, roll sensitivity, and when you get back to the other screen, roll sensitivity, pitch sensitivity, and yaw sensitivity. They should just be right under the yaw axis. It should say roll, pitch, and yaw sensitivity in 3 different sliders. 100, 100, 100, and 32. All right. Now we're going to get into some fun stuff. So, the next thing we are going to do is we are going to set up the thrust vectoring. This is for the planes like the Harriers. Okay, let me know when you're ready. Okay, first you want to hit relative control to yes. Below invert axis. It's down towards the. It's just a slider. It's not a slider. It's just a button. Yes or no. Below that. Okay. Okay. Then we're gonna go up to the very top where it says increase value. No, all the way. It's all the way up to the top. Just whatever the maximum is. Top button. Nope. Increase value, or if it's taken off relative control, it's like maximum value. At the very top. No, no, you should be. We're still in. You're hitting the button for thrust vector. Below yaw sensitivity. Now go below that. Yep. Click it, X. Increase, increase value, or maximum value, whatever the one at the very top is. Okay, so this is going to be that little button where your pointer finger curls over to on the throttle. Nope, we're on the throttle. It's this little button. You feel there's two size differences? Okay, the little one. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to hit L2, and then on the hat switch, put that to the right. Yeah, it may take a couple of times to get it down. Nope, you need to go across. You need to go right. Because that's going to be a different control. Yeah, it should say right, but... Yep. Now do the same thing for minimum value, and that's going to be that into the left. Like just invert, so you can... Now go where it says relative control, click that to yes. Okay. I didn't say invert axis. Do not invert axis. Okay, well then clear that to no. Okay. Roll, and then I don't even worry about hover height yet. I actually have ignite boosters on something on the actual gamepad itself, so we're not going to mess with that. Now, where it goes down to mechanization, where it says wing sweep, you see we're just going to keep going down in a row, in order. Okay, we're going to set that the same way you just did the thrust vectoring. Increase value to the right, decrease to the left, both with that the small button. I just call it the small button. The only other thing you need to check is, nope, actually just leave that as is. Add.
Funny.
You'll be able to use this.
Bless you.
What do you mean? What does it do? On planes like your Sukhoi 22 and the MiG-23s and Tomcats, there's a way to manually take care of your wing sweep to give you a little bit of an edge. It's not necessary, but we're going to have it programmed in anyway for future training sessions. You need a button on your keyboard, like I have it as insert on mine. I don't know what it would, where you would want to put it, but you need a button for switch wing sweep control mode. Under wing sweep.
Yeah.
Oh man, Diamondback's on.
I can't find out where the fuck this goes.
You just need to put that as a button on the keyboard. Something. It's switch wing sweep control mode. It's right under wing sweep. We're just keeping going down the line. So you should be under mechanization as a subcategory. It shouldn't be an axis value, so just clear it. You back out, close. You did something wrong. This needs to be a button on the keyboard, so it should just be hit a button. It should be a sign button, and hit X, then something on the keyboard. Yeah, that's fine. It doesn't really matter. You're not going to use it that often. All right. So the next one, does it say? Do you have anything set up for toggle flaps? Clear it. Remove that binding. All right. For flaps down, we're going to start to get into it. It's that little button that we used before, right? And it's going to be cross. That should be the middle button where your thumb is. So you want J2 cross and yep. Now that's how you're going to put down your flaps. So it's no more easy mode with the computer doing it. You're in charge. We'll go over flights. I'll fly with you in like the F5 and we'll do some touch and goes. Then for flaps up, that same L2 button and square, which should be above it. So naturally, you hit the one at the top, they go up. You hit the one below it, they go down. Okay. Toggle air brake. clear it. Well, you can leave that there. I actually left it there too. So go ahead. It's the left button on your actual controller. But if you don't have it, don't worry about it. Yeah. So click it, and you're gonna. That's gonna be the big button behind the one we've been using. It should be R2. That's the one that we're not going to set anything else with. That is your air brakes. Like from here on out, air brakes. Mm-hmm. Pretty much, yep. I'm going to hit the brakes, and it'll fly right by. God, no. Maybe in a one-on-one. You can do it in a Harrier. But that's a limited thing. Thrust reverser, you don't have any planes near it, so I wouldn't even worry about setting that up yet. Toggle gear, next important button, is the it's that small button and circle. So the one below it on your thumb. So you see how that lines itself up? So you've got flaps, up, down, and then gear when you hold in that button. Boop, boop, boop. Brakes are always a problem for me. I actually have it on my game controller because I'm weird like that. You could probably put it on your keyboard under B for brakes. You could if you really could do that, you could do like M and N, something like that, a combo, and then you could differential brake. But that's up to you. That's a personal choice. Okay. Uh huh. Yeah, I don't necessarily know how the fuck that works. I just have it as maximum value is down. Like I don't have a way to. I don't have it on. It's not an on or off thing for me. It's an A or B. So you could do that too. You can learn to adapt. I mean, really, how often do you use your brakes? It makes it a little difficult for props, but that's about it. Like just pick a button, like B for brakes. Mm-hmm. And yeah, do the other one the same and add it, however you have it set up. No, you don't even. I wouldn't even mess with minimum on this. Like I really on or off. Either you're hitting your brakes or you're not hitting the brakes. It's less important compared to other things you could put on that control. And the drag shoot, that's kind of important. I have that set up on my actual game controller because when I fly with this HOTAS, there are a couple buttons that I use. Like I have that, and I have I've got the drag shoot and the thrust reverser, and I have a backup for the air brake on that controller. So it depends. Do you want to fly? Are you going to keep the controller handy, or are you not going to keep the controller handy? Okay, then put it on a button next to your brakes. Put it on a key next to your brakes. Let me rephrase. Okay. So now we are done. You can actually fly this plane now if you want, but for the sake of the video, um, we are going to go skip straight into weapons controls. If you're okay with that. Oh, I know. Okay, and actually, go ahead and hit R1 before you do anything else. We're gonna save this as HOTAS. Make a new save. I like to call it HOTAS 1 because I'm sure you'll make your own changes as necessary. I know, so you make a different save file altogether. So you don't overwrite that one, you write a brand new one. Okay, excellent, excellent. Okay, so now we get into weapons. Small caliber guns, trigger. Large caliber guns, you're going to use the trigger. And additional guns, we're going to use the trigger. Fire machine guns and cannons, that, no, you just basically set everything, the first four, set them as trigger. Mm-hmm. Trigger, maximum. Add, add. You want to add all of those. They all should be on the same thing. Primary weapons, make sure that is empty. Fire, fire secondary weapons. Now we're on the stick. That is going to be the button right in the middle on the back side, opposite the throttle. Yes, I can't even see. I do everything by touch. The whole idea of the HOTAS is to not have to look down. That's. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, we're gonna go in. We're gonna go into it. So that is your fire secondary weapons. Do you already have something for opening the bomb bay door? Yep, your left shift. Good. That needs to be there. Leave that alone. Drop bomb. Uh, same thing. Same thing. L1. Boop. Basically, everything that's not a machine gun or a cannon is going to be launched off of that one button. So, drop. Add. We're just going to keep adding to it. We're going to skip. If you want to set it up now, let's do it. It is the button on the outside of the trigger, on the right side of the trigger, and the L1 button. Yeah, it should be called R3. R3 and L1. Yep. Next, fire rocket. L1. Pickle. Fire rocket salvo. That's going to be the same as drop bombs in a series. So when you're firing at a base or strategic target, and you've got a bunch of those HVARs, it'll, instead of launching them two at a time, it'll launch, it'll just be a stream. It'll look like a gun. It's satisfying. It's satisfying to watch. Well, we're not going to talk about that. Um, friends don't let friends get the F-89. Um, fire air-to-ground missile, L1. Fire air-to-air missile, L1. And drop guided bombs, also L1. Alright, the next three. Weapon lock air-to-air. This is going to warm up your heat seekers. R3, just that button on the outside. Same with the next two. Yep. Air to ground, lock bombs. Yep. Not that I have any success with those last two. Further research is needed. It's not kind to the PlayStation. So we need to set up a new button. It's going to say exit selected weapon mode. That's going to go on the keyboard around where you have the button to open the bomb bay doors. Okay, you're not going to use that very often. You may want to make it A. I'm sure we'll find a better use for Z here in a minute. And do you have the 4 directional buttons as well? Please say you do. Like the up, down, left, and right on the keyboard? We're going to need those later. Okay. So... Nope. Switch secondary weapons. You're not near done, sir. We're not near done. We're about halfway. Okay, now to switch secondary weapons, that's going to be the button right next to the one we were firing all these weapons off at. It should say... Yep, I concur. And you already have something to shift weapon ripple quantity, if we set that up before. Okay. So, my buttons have worn off. I do not know what these look like on the throttle where your thumb is. Which one is square? Okay. That's going to be your countermeasure button. Okay. We can skip the yaw axis for in pitch axis for weapon aiming. We're not going to use that in the near future. You can, again, we're not even going to mess with the laser designator. Okay. Do you have a set of like 4 keys up on your keyboard? Because we need to put on. You need to turn the search radar off. You need to have a button set for that. I have it as 1 on my keyboard. Okay. So we're going to turn that. That's going to be your turn the radar off. It's a 1. Alright. Yep. So what that does is it turns off your radar. You know how you get RWR and you pick up the other guys locking you up? Okay. Next to that, we need to switch between radar and infrared search and track. Okay. So that needs to be set on a button, on a key, excuse me. Okay. Next, skip radar, change radar IST mode. Um, we're gonna make the next change is radar slash IRIS-T beyond within visual range combo. That needs to be on a key. Yep, that's gonna be the last of those that we need. Actually, I take that back. It was 3. Sorry, I can't count. All right. No worries, Colonel. I don't care about your diet. All right. So now we're gonna get into some fun stuff. Change radar IRIS-T mode. Nope, the one up above. It says this is going to be between. We're looking change radar IRIS-T mode. That is going to be the circle button and up on the hat switch. So the circle button's going to work your radars. So you have to hit the circle, and we're going to manipulate this control. Yep. Next, change radar IRIS-T search mode. Now what this is going to do is it's going to change the width of the radar beam so you can narrow it. We'll get into radar theory later when we actually start taking these jets up. But that needs to be circle and left. Yep. Okay. Next is scale. That's the range that the radar's filtering out contacts. That is circle and right. Whoa, what else is it? Yeah, it shouldn't have anything. The first one should be left, the other one should be right. Mm-hmm. I'd almost cancel, go back and make sure the other two are right. Okay. Oh, no, that needs to be circle button and left. Mode is left, scale is right. Mm-hmm. So with that, you'll be able to extend or contract your radar. Like if you're just trying to see the picture, you can leave it wider. If you're trying to lock somebody up, the smaller it is in the mode, the better. And the same with the scale. The smaller the scale, the faster that radar's repeating, the better, the faster you're going to get lock. Next, select radar IRIS-T target to lock. This happens if you've got multiples and you're trying to narrow that down. That is going to be circle and down. Okay. Now next, lock radar on /IRST on target. That is cross. That should be just a standalone button on the throttle. Yep. And then do you have a button that says switch sight mode in cockpit? That's on a key. Like for me, it's right control. But if you have that on something else, don't worry about it. You just need to be... What this is going to do is this is going to pull up your bomb sight if you have it. And we'll get into CCIP. Okay, so you already have that set? Excellent, excellent. So now we're going to get down to the keys. We need to switch mission bombing target. Make that left. You need to put that on something. That's not going to be needed. You may have it on your 22. I'm not sure. I'll have to check. Your bombing's about to get a lot better. If it's adding, you're doing it wrong. It needs to go somewhere else. Yeah, replace that. You don't need that. No, we're PlayStation only. That's what we do. Okay. That needs to be left on the key. The left key. Yep, left arrow. Activate target point. That's down. And deactivate target point is right. We'll get into that later. That's a level 300 class. This is 101. Okay, and we already got your gunner set up. We're not going to mess with that because we're setting this up for jets. So, you know what I mean? We can go back and mess with it for whatchamacallit, but yeah, not as important. I actually leave that on my controller, believe it or not. But now that I've got the head tracker, it's not necessary because you can aim the guns with your head tracker. Alright, camera control. I believe that's all going to stay the same as what we already had set up, except for one thing. Give me 1 second. I got to bounce over. Okay. Hold on. Okay. So that's what that is. Okay. So we're going to set something up right now for sim. I know you haven't even thought about that yet, but okay. No, you're not. No, you're not. No, you're not. All right. Do you have two buttons next to each other? I'm going to make you instantly better as well. So you need two keys. This needs to be on the keyboard. We're looking at zoom axis air. Okay. You want something. It's if you basically go to miscellaneous and start going up, it is number 6 above miscellaneous. I actually leave it on the controller because you can use that. There's no need to change it. Like, that's one thing you may want to... Like, I keep that controller handy, too. It sits pretty well in between the two. Like, I fly on a desk. So, I have it pretty much wedged in between the two, so I use that triangle button to switch views. And that's really secondary because you should be switching with your other control, and in sim it doesn't matter. But we'll get to sim later. You basically leave everything else the same. We're just going to make 3 changes in this. Okay. Go above miscellaneous. Go to zoom axis air. Yeah, it's at the 6 from the bottom. Don't worry about that. You want zoom air, zoom axis air. Okay. That you need to set up on your keyboard as 2 buttons next to each other as well. Like the brackets, like big bracket and like left and right bracket. So that's fine. Just remember where you put it, because what it'll do is you can actually zoom your pilot back out, and you can do that in realistic too when you're in the third person without the plane, so you can get a bigger field of view. Pro tip. Yeah. One's increase, one's decrease, and put relative control. Go to the right for increase, left for decrease. Whichever. However you prefer. And then relative control to yes. Alright. So. No. Okay, well that's fine. Oh, if whatever the default is, we can fix it if we need to. Okay, so next is gonna be I don't even mess with that. I just have it set. Like, you're only gonna use that to zoom in and zoom out, right? It's just to change basically change your focus of your eyes to wide to narrow. You can see how that would be really beneficial. Okay, so next, this is in lieu of having a head tracker. I know, that's not a problem, but that's a secondary problem. So now we're going to head movement. Up, down, upward, and downward. Uh-huh. We're just above miscellaneous. We're still in the same area. It's the no, up and down. That needs to be triangle and up on the hat switch to increase and down on to decrease, and then again set relative control. No, on the controller. It should be the one down at the bottom of the thumb. Because in order to activate the head tracker when you're flying, you're going to have to hit that button. It's on the throttle. It should be the one bottom where your thumb naturally rests. You should be able to feel it. You've got the 3 buttons that are next to each other. It's the one set down and below. It's down at the. Okay. You see where the what is that? The square button. Put the throttle in middle and go straight down with your thumb. It should be set off by itself. Yep, triangle and then increase. Decrease. No, it's increase is triangle plus up on the hat switch. So, what this does, this is going to set you up in the seat and then take you down in the seat. Yeah, and before you leave this, to reset, you have triangle and then the whatchamacallit. What is that button? The one next to the pickle switch. I, the one on the, yeah. So you see what we're doing? So you're moving up, moving down, and then it just, that if you hit that, it'll reset you back to where you're supposed to be in the seat. Right? You follow the logic? And make sure we have relative control on as well. Yep, that's fine. Uh-huh. I really need to change that, actually. Yeah, actually, I don't want to confuse myself, so I'm not going to fly this. I'm going to fly with my other. You know what I'm saying? It will just throw my hands off. As it's taken me a month to get used to this other controller. So the next one down is head movement. Left and right. Set it the same way. Right is increase. Left is decrease. And then reset is the same. No, left is decrease. Actually, no, you were right. Left is increase because I had invert axis. So we're just gonna trust that I managed to mess that up. The same as the other, the triangle and L2. Listen to my words, not what's on the screen, kids. Yeah, what? No, no, it's the the one right next to the one on the right side of your thumb as you're looking straight at the flight stick. Again, I can't see these anymore. They've been worn off. Add. So when you hit that, it resets up, down, and left and right. Puts you right back in the middle. So you don't get lost. That makes sense? So you're centered on your gun sight. Let me rephrase. Alright. Trimming. Oh, good lord, you're gonna hate me. Huh? Well, you can, but we're gonna set it up anyway. Yes, 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 always, unless otherwise denoted. Just we're just gonna do elevator and rudder. Some people may say aileron is more important than rudder, but I'm weird. So, increase is the small button, the one that we were using before, and up. And decrease is L2 and down. Invert axis and relative control. And we'll have to test the head tracker. But, well, it's whatever the default is. Yeah, mine's at 30. That way it gives you a little more control. And then it should be fine. And that should be enough to get you flying a jet. As we've gone through the whole thing. Pretty much. Nope, one other thing. Go to common. At the very top. Okay, no, to the very top. You see where it says aircraft, helicopter, ground vehicles, naval. We'll worry about radio chats because I'm not taking you straight into sim. That would be evil. But the one that we're looking for is under view controls. Just on the left navigation menu, go to view controls. Now we want to set mouse look activation and set that to triangle. That's the one on the bottom of the thumb that you had a hard time finding. So to make that work, well, you can test it. You can just go ahead and turn that on, make sure it's working. When you hit that button and you move the mouse left to right, it should move you in the cockpit. So actually, we're going to do something a little different. I'm going to go ahead and switch my mic. I'm going to pause this, and I'm going to switch over to my controller, and I'm going to set us up in a little small battle with bots. And take out your F5C. Okay. So give me just a second to set this up. Let me grab mine as well. Yeah, just go two missiles. No, actually, I need to go and load in my other controls too before I forget that. But I'm just trying to get this squared away. Choose crew. No, you shouldn't even have to mess with that. No. Yes. You should do that immediately. It makes... Uh-huh. Make sure it's right first, though. Like, go ahead and look at some of those controls. Make sure they didn't completely screw off. No worries. Just look at any of the controls. Just do a quick scan. If it's saying J2, it's right. Okay, and then let me invite you to squad. So until you get this fixed up to your head, you're going to have a tough time. I'm just saying, you're not going to be able to see. You're not going to be able to look around because we have it completely modeled to do that. Does that make sense? Okay, so we're going to go to, we're going to change the type. We're going to go to custom battles. We're going to create a session. We're just going to pick something. What's a desert map that we can fly off of? We're going to use El Alamein as our stand-in for Nellis. Ready up. All right, you ready? And we're gonna. All right, so we're just gonna play against like level 2s. You know what I mean? No, we're not even worried about the battle going on. Number of players, we're gonna get that down to like 6. No one can join in progress. You can take whatever you want, actually, but we're gonna start off in the similar. And hit triangle 1 time. And ready up. Make sure your throttle is back fully. And ready up. And start. Alright. Yep, that's why I said just make sure the throttle's off. And we're going to do a full check. You know what I'm saying? So just don't move on the runway. Airfield, just to go ahead and put a full tank of gas in. 2 AIM-9 Echoes. That should be fine. Yep. Brakes, 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 brakes. Alright, so invert that axis. Go ahead and just go to controls and invert axis. You know what I'm saying? Like, for throttle. No, turn that off. Okay. We want. Yeah, it should be at the very top, near the top. Yes, for no, not all, no. Go to the specific throttle axis. Click on it. Now where it says invert axis, go ahead and hit that button. Hit the button. Alright, now come back into the plane and start to roll up next to me. Just add a little bit of power. And then turn it back. Pull it back. So go to the multiplier. Whatever it is, turn that down. Oh, I know. Hold on. Hold on. We're gonna do it this way. I think I did make a mistake here. Okay. So, I gotta load the other controls, so just bear with me. Okay, throttle axis, I have a multiplier of 1.16. I've got a dead zone. It's going to be at a throttle axis. Okay. Just controls, aircraft controls, full reel. Throttle axis. So here's how I have it set up. Maximum value is blank. Minimum value blank. We have a relative control is no. Invert axis is yes. Nonlinearity, put that all the way down to 1 if it's not. Multiplier 1.16. Okay. Yeah, 1.16. No, give me a second. Alright, I'm going to pull up next to you, and we're going to do a full control check. Don't touch your throttle this time. Slide it forward until it comes off a brake. Like ever so slightly. This is going to be small movements. Okay, now kill it. So we know it works. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So kick the rudder left and right. That's the control, the rocker on the far left of this throttle. Nope. Left and right. It should be your yaw axis. It should be the little one by your pinky. Okay, that's wrong. Pull back on the stick. Pull on the... Oh, yeah, pull back on the stick. Okay, that's correct. No. Okay, so we got to go back into those controls. Nope, we did, I thought. So, going back to controls. So, So we're gonna go to pitch axis. Okay, that's one I thought you had already done. Okay, pitch axis. I'm loading my other controller. Okay, do this. Okay, on your controls, you see a little button at the very top. It says auto detect axis. You should just hit square. You see the little. So it should be right above that little horizontal bar, right under the War Thunder symbol. Nope, you go to controls pitch axis. I thought you were already there. Now go to auto detect axis. So when you do that, move the stick up and down. This is a pitch. Okay, so then now hit square again to take it off of that, and it should be set. Okay. Now leave everything else the same. And do the same with the, go to roll axis again. Roll axis needs to be left and right. So do the same process. Auto detect it and go left and right. And then for yaw axis, that needs to do the same thing, and that needs to be that little rocker switch. We'll just take the guessing out of it. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Okay. So now let's, now that you've got that set, pitch up, like pull back on the stick. Pitch down. If you can you see my plane? Can you see both? Let me nudge up a little bit then. You like my custom 512 logo on there too? Yeah, it does look sick. Okay, so roll the wings left, rings right, pitch, up, or up, and then back, and then kick the rudder to the left, rudder to the right. Okay. Now, next thing, hit your air brakes. That should. No, okay. It should be on or off. It should be your air brake. So no, that's the button on the throttle. It's the big one on the front side, next to your rudder. Yep, I can confirm that's good. Now pull it back. Now for your. No, I know you wouldn't be able to. It's on the it's like the middle of the plane. I could visually check it though. You're good. Now flaps down one notch. That's going to be your L2, and then that middle button, the small button, and then the middle button on the thumbs. I don't remember what it's called. And do that again until they go full, like mine. It should be the little button on the outside, right? Tiny. We'll call it tiny, tiny, and your middle button out of those three on the thumb. That your thumb faces. No, the like X square X should be the one in the middle. I don't know what it's called. Yeah. Okay. Now go flaps takeoff. Go down one. So and then go full. Now put them back up to. Nope. No. 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 Don't do that. Don't do that yet. Rudder. Rudder when you add a little bit of power. Slide. So put your flaps to take off. Now hit the brakes. Flaps to take off. Make sure they're there. But they look similar. Up, go up one. So to do that, you put it up. You do the same thing, but you hit the button on the top.
The enemy is winning. We must counterattack.
And then just bring them all the way up to full. Alright, now bring them all the way up to full. Bring your flaps all the way up. So this is, again, this is training. This is getting you used to the controls. So you put the small button and then the one at the top. Square, I think. Yep. Then bring them up, and now bring them back down to take off. Okay. So, basically, follow me. Okay? Give me, like a 3-second break, just so you can follow my turns. Okay? Use rudder as necessary. Yep, use the rudder as necessary to hold the center line. That's going to be the little button, and then the one down at the bottom. Yep. You went up way too high.
If we don't do something fast, the enemy will win.
We're playing follow the leader. I'm down on like 1,000 feet. We're just staying in the pattern. I'm actually taking it off burner. Alright, now I'm gonna fly parallel with the runway. What happened? Alright, give me about 10. Go ahead and start to roll. Okay, now just hold level. No need to climb out. We're using this is our T-38 stand-in. Bitch! Why is it what? Alright, now make a slight roll to the left.
If we don't do something fast, the
We're
enemy
gonna go
will
ahead
win.
90 degrees, so head north. We're gonna lose. I should have put more bots on. Because what we're trying to do is we're trying to get you to come in and land, so follow me, Ma. Go back to the air base. It is to the south. Turn left 90 degrees.
We need to put more pressure on the enemy. They're winning.
Yeah, so when it rolls, you need to pull back on the stick to actually change your direction. So, alright. You need to turn to the right now, slightly. I'm at Mach. Okay, do you see me? No, yeah, you can't look around yet. That makes this tough. Okay, I'm 18,000 feet away. I'm merging. You need to turn right. Because we're going to do this again when this battle's over. Because we're going to land. Turn right. We're near the airbase. Nope, you're gonna do as I say. You're gonna hit the air brakes now. We're gonna get your speed down
The enemy
to
is winning. We must counterattack.
it's the top one. Big button on the throttle at the top. Okay, and just pull the throttle back to idle. This would be so much better if he didn't just shoot off like that. Alright, so make a slight turn to the right. Well, then you just use really small inputs. That's okay, because this is good. We're going to lose anyway. So the next time when we take off, we're going to fly a left-hand pattern.
The enemy is winning. We've got to counterattack.
Well, we'll try it again because this battle's almost over. I made it. Go ahead and take off and then try to slow down once we get airborne. You know what I'm saying? Like, keep your speed, watch your throttle, and keep your speed at about 300. Yeah, this is weak. On occasion, it's more for combat. So when you want to tighten a turn.
If we don't do something fast, the enemy will win.
What happened? All right.
We've lost. But next time, victory will be ours.
Okay. Let's just. Okay. So what we're gonna do this time? You're gonna take off in front of me. Once you get to 300, you're gonna slow down, and we're gonna shoot touch and goes.